Thank you for purchasing an AJ Manufacturing door. Your door was shipped from the factory with tags identifying the size and swing of the door. These doors are 4-way universal and can be re-handed in the field. The last page of the instruction packet details the process, and a separate video showing this process is available at ajdoor.com. To install the door, you will need the installation guide, a tape measure, square, a level, drill, 1/8 inch drill bit, flat working surface, a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, and a T25 Torx screwdriver bit, caulk, and wood shims. The weather seal is shipped loose in the door carton and is intended to be installed after the door has been installed and the snap-in parting stop has been installed into the frame header. The screw pack is wrapped with the snap-in parting stop. It contains the deck screws that will be required to secure the door into the opening. If you are installing this in a metal framed opening, use appropriate sized, customer supplied fasteners and proceed as instructed in steps 10 and 11 on the instruction sheet, except that the fasteners should be installed through the metal rough opening frame and into the return legs on the back side of the door frame. Apply beads of caulk to the support legs of the sill to prevent water infiltration beneath the sill. This door was shipped with reflective insulation already installed in the door jambs for added insulation value and performance. The rough opening that this door is to be installed into must be square, plumb, and should be no more than 1/2 inch wider and 1/2 inch higher than the outside measurement of the door frame. This will ease the installation of the door and help ensure proper operation of the door. Check the rough opening to be certain that it is plumb and square. Installing this unit in an out-of-square opening will necessitate the use of additional shimming material and may affect the operation of the door after. Remove the door from the carton and lay it on your flat working surface, with what will be the outside of the door facing up and the hinges side of the frame in the desired position. Set the door assembly into the rough opening. The door panel is centered in the frame assembly by self-adhesive spacers located between the lock jamb and the door panel. Do not remove these spacers until after the installation is completed. Before opening the door, check the metal frame to be certain that it is square and plumb. Shim if necessary. The screw pack contains 6 painted and 12 unpainted number 10 by 3.5 inch flathead wood screws for installing the door assembly into a wood frame rough opening. The painted screws are to be used along the jamb edge where they will be exposed, 4 on the lock jamb and 2 on the hinge jamb. The unpainted screws are to be used as follows: 1 through the empty center hole of each hinge, 4 near the parting stop of the hinge jamb, and the remaining 5 near the parting stop of the lock jamb. Those near the parting stops will be concealed by the weather seal after it is installed. Pre-drilling 1/8 inch holes into the wood rough opening will help ease the installation of the screws. Install the 3 screws through the hinges first, then alternate installing screws through the lock and hinge jambs to help ensure that the frame remains square. Check it often and shim as needed. Use extra caution so not to distort the metal frame, either by shimming or over-tightening the screw. Install the parting stop into the frame header at this time. Do this by inserting the longest leg on the parting stop into the single bottom groove in the frame header. Squeeze the parting stop and frame header together until the second leg of the parting stop snaps into the remaining groove in the header. Remove the adhesive back rub pads from each end of the lock jamb. Install the field replaceable weather seal into the jambs at this time. The rigid ribbed leg of the weather seal is to be inserted fully into the slot in the parting stop. Start at the sill end of each jamb and work to the top. Be certain that the weather seal contacts the sill to ensure a proper seal, and make sure that the leg is fully seated into the slot so that the backing of the weather seal lies flat and tight against the jamb. Failure to do so may result in the edge of the door panel catching the weather seal as the door closes. If this happens, the weather seal will fold over and take a permanent set, which will not provide a good seal in that area. Install the weather seal into the slot in the snap-in parting stop header by first centering it between the vertical weather seals with the ends slightly overlapping the vertical parts, and then pushing the ribbed leg into the slot. Once again, be certain it is fully seated into the slot. Apply caulk across each end of the sweep to help prevent water infiltration at this area. Install the lock set as per the manufacturer's instructions. Except use the two number 8 screws found in the lock bolt area of the door perimeter to attach the lock bolt to the door. The lock set faceplate should be 1 inch by 2 1/4 inches tall square corner screw-in. We recommend applying a thread locking solution to the screws prior to installing them to ensure that they do not work loose as the door is used. AJ 5100 and 7100 series doors have internal reinforcements also for the attachment of lock sets, closers, and deadbolts. Doors can also be ordered factory board. Panic bars reinforcement will vary depending on the door light size. Please refer to the chart for reblock placement. The holes in the lock jamb to which the strike plate is mounted are elongated to allow for lateral adjustment of the strike plate.